generous with people. Like there was a woman who let's just say I consorted with for a few years. And she asked me in 2021 during the lockdown, Jim, can you provide food for my kids? I said, yeah, I can do that. I can do that. Can you help me with rent for my mother? Yeah, I can do that. Okay, so that's that. Okay, is that badge management or is that a big heart and being generous?
Generosity.
Okay, so I've got a load for my monthly costs.
How many
Uh,
children do you have? The audience, I don't think the audience knows. Or do you want to say or not?
8, not mine. I think what you meant was how many am I providing for?
Correct. That's
8,
what I meant. Yep.
8. Um, Mine 3,
Right.
and they're getting up there in age, 8, 10,
And
and
you
14.
really love children too, which is I
I
have in common with you.
I
You know,
I just think they're
I love spending time with my girls. It's great.
I think they're so much fun.
They are
Um,
fun, yes.
I actually taught my oldest soccer,
Oh, that's
football.
awesome.
I taught him how to. He had on his little team, first and second grade. He was doing headers. He was getting in front of the goal and in
Yep.
defense, and he would head it out. And nobody on the team was doing any headers. But that's he said, Jimmy, Papa. He called me Papa Jim. Papa Jim. Papa Jim. Papa Jim. Cabezosas. Cabezosas. Okay, that's header. Cabeza is head. Cabezosa is a header. So I'd throw it at his head and he'd bang it back to me. I'd throw it to his head and he'd bang it back to me. And then I'd throw it hard into his stomach to get him to go like this
Yep.
and have it drop at his feet. They call it a drape, a trap, a drape trap. Um, one time he was kicking with
Good
me and
practice.
he was kicking with me. He was maybe, I don't know, 5 meters away, 5 yards away. And he just kicked it really hard. And I go, oh, I just reacted like that. I banged right off my chest and dead. When you go like this, there's no, okay, if you have your chest out, it'll bang off. If you have it curled in like a curtain, it'll just fall to your feet.
Then you
And
can
he
kick
went,
it.
and he went, wow. I said, that's how you do it. I see, like that. Um, I speak Spanish with him. He's got some English though. It's funny. I get little English messages. Anyway, it's a long story I don't want to get into, but
Do you want to
I,
close it out now or
I want to talk about XRP before we close it out.
go right ahead.
We're in the middle of a digital financial transformation, and the United States is a little bit behind most of the other major regions of the world because our Congress is full of dumb shits. Our Congress is full of people who are bribed, like Elizabeth Warren, by the banking industry, and some good people are bribed by the banking industry. Elizabeth Warren is bribed by the pharmaceutical industry. She'll never say anything bad about them.
Right.
Bernie Sanders is bribed by the pharmaceutical industry. These people really need to have a patch for every industrial sector that they have money from that are buying their votes.
Good
Okay,
idea.
we have okay, you see it in European soccer teams. They've got,
NASCAR.
you see it on Mexican baseball,
You sure
professional
do.
baseball. You got 3 or 4 different patches on. Okay, that's who owns them. That's who pays for their costs of travel from city to city. Okay, we're slow, but we are guaranteed in the United States, guaranteed. The big financial firms are moving into crypto digital finance. They're moving onto the blockchain rails. And I believe that XRP is going to become a standard. I think it's going to become a US standard. I think it's going to become largely a global standard. And sign up for the newsletter because I'm going to have, in my XRP chapter, I'm going to have the implications for Ripple winning their bank license.
Wow.
Ripple Trust National Bank. They're going to be a trust. They're going to be managing billions and millions.
Wow.
And before they won the bank license, I'm on hiccup. I'm on record to have said that if Ripple, hiccups. If Ripple, I'm on record as saying, if Ripple wins the bank license, that means all the major banks are being provided billions of XRP coins,
Wow.
which means that JP Morgan, BlackRock, et al. Are poised to make a lot of money and will promote a higher XRP price when they begin using it in large scale. The usage of XRP is requisite for a higher price, and it's coming. Just imagine, okay, there are many other consequences, and I'm going to lay it out. I've already begun some of my notes. Okay, here we are, the 20th. Believe me, I get going. When the 20th comes, I get moving into gear. But today is college football day, if you're not aware. So imagine JP Morgan, which as a preface might have, let's just say, $80 billion underwater on their bond portfolio. Okay, collectively they're about $500 billion underwater, 480 billion, 470 billion. These are the major banks for supporting the near zero interest rate policy for almost 10 years. Now we're getting back to a rather normalized interest rate. So it means that all the bonds that they bought are underwater, going down in value. JP Morgan, let's just say they need $100 billion to get out of their underwater bond portfolio. So they get their hands on 2 billion XRP coins, and it goes to $50. Boom! They're no longer insolvent. Then they realize we can make a lot more money than that. Let's promote XRP. Let's make it the standard. We got vested interest now. And they set it to $100 and then $200. So at $200, they got 2 billion coins. They got $400 billion.
Wow.
That's just the basics of what I'm going to lay out in the December newsletter. There's a lot more going on than that. Ripple is buying up, they're making acquisitions. They got G Treasury that's going to be doing corporate bonds, guaranteed to be settled with XRP. They got Evernorth, which fits perfectly a description of being a venture capital firm. They got another company that they acquired, and it's going to be for managing treasuries. In other words, managing corporate accounts.
Mm-hmm.
We'll hold your XRP for you. It's coming soon. I don't know when, but soon.
Okay.
Soon it's coming. They're going to be acquiring a lending institution on the rails, on digital rails, on
Oh,
the
wow.
blockchain, and you can borrow against XRP collateral. And what would you get? You're not going to get dollars. You get a stable coin, RLUSD stable coin, Ripple stable coin.
Hmm.
And be careful with Tether. Be careful. I think Tether
I
is
don't have
going to
any
be.
tether. Yeah, I don't have any tether.
It's largely used by the U.S. government in a
Sure.
corrupt manner. If there's a BRICS nation, let's just say Qatar or Oman or UAE, let's just say they want to get rid of $10 billion worth of treasuries. They go to the Treasury Department in the United States, and the Treasury Department, I believe, this is my accusation, my speculation, because they won't tell you what they're doing when it's illegal or when it's not
Of course, why
illegal,
would they?
not illegal, Brock, when it's underhanded, illicit, improper, not illegal, just dirty. Qatar wants to sell $10 billion of treasury bonds. So the US government makes $10 billion worth of Tether and it gives it to them. And they back it up with Bitcoin. Whoa. Bitcoin and Tether involved in monetary printing for BRICS dumping of $10 billion of treasuries. This is what's going on. This is what's going on. I think Tether is an accident waiting to happen. And for those who believe Bitcoin is digital gold, I think you're so far off that it's funny, laughable. Bitcoin has no intellectual property. It has no contractual usage in commerce. So I believe XRP is going to flip Bitcoin in the next few years, which means that its market cap will surpass Bitcoin's. That's
Really?
my call.
That's
Yeah.
huge.
We might need 200, 400, 600. I don't know.
Wow.
I don't think 3 digits is going to be the limit for XRP. By the way, it stands for exchange rate peg. And they did everything they could to prevent plebeians like us from buying it because it wasn't available on numerous different exchanges like Uphold, like Binance,
Correct.
like Coinbase. And now it is. And they're trying to put us to sleep into a state of frustration right now by having it just hover under 2. And I couldn't care less. When it gets to be usage time, it's going to skyrocket. So
It's going to be hockey stick.
hockey stick, yeah. Uh, I got to tell you, in November I had a chapter on the yen carry trade, and I'm not going to explain it here. Sign up for the newsletter. It's borrowing yen over a 30-year period and investing in higher yielding things like treasury bonds. It's going into reverse because the Japanese are raising interest rates. They're realizing price inflation. They've got a real big problem that they created themselves by dumping treasury bonds. They have a real big problem in their Japanese government debt. They have a real big problem with foreigners dumping their debt. The Japanese have a really big problem with their long-term government debt yield. And money is coming back home to Japan from Europe, from England, from the United States. They're dumping our sovereign bonds. It's called the reversal of the
Jeez.
yen carry trade. And there's something called the XRP domino theory that Jake Claver, who's a rather impressive fellow regarding XRP and that whole study,
Mm-hmm.
he believes that the liquidity crisis caused by the yen carry trade reversal could be resolved by XRP. And the agent to do that is SBI Holdings, which is a large financial services firm in Japan. And all financial firms in Japan are XRP compliant
Are they
now.
really?
Yeah, by law.
I missed that. I was not aware of that.
I was aware of that last November and I put it in my newsletter. I said,
Well, there you go.
United States is behind. We're behind because our Congress is a combination of corrupt and inept. Inept. They're dumbasses. We've got a population replete with dumbasses and congressmen and senators who are dumbasses. Okay, this is sad, but the United States is going to wake up, and we better wake up soon because our economy has been stuck in a 7-year depression. 7-year. Okay, I got my hands on a Chapwood consumer price index table a couple months ago. No, yeah, I think it was early November. 2024 price inflation was 8 and 9%. No change. 8 and
Wow.
9%. Okay, it got up to 14 during the lockdown,
Yep.
14%. They called it 7 or 8 and said it was temporary. And then they went back. We got a lie that is consistently 6, 7% at least,
Wow.
which means that our economic growth, the GDP estimates,
Mm-hmm.
they're all wrong by 6% at least.
Wow.
So if they say we got a 2% growth, we really got -4. We're in a depression, and it's been in a depression since 2018 or 19. So that's the kind of stuff you learn with the newsletter at golden-jackass.com. I call it the hat trick letter because there used to be three big things: gold
Mm-hmm.
going up, the Canadian dollar going up, and that's no longer holding because they are a Marxist state and they're
Right.
really crippling themselves. And I had a whole chapter last month on the Canadian separation movement with Alberta and Saskatchewan. And
Mm-hmm.
by the way, I ran it by a couple of Canadian clients, and they said, "Jim, that's good work. I learned a few things." So I did my homework. I did my analysis. I did several videos. I did article reading. I did chat GPT, a little research, and I produced a 7-page article on Canada and their separation. And a guy in Quebec and a woman in Toronto each said, "Nice work. I learned a little bit." Okay.
That's great.
So I think I do good work, and I have a lot of help. I got to tell you, some of my forecasts are based on items that are handed to me by my own colleagues. "Jim, don't you think this might happen?" And I go, "Yeah, that makes sense. Let me check that out. Let me investigate." And then a couple months later, I got a forecast. I got a very good high rate of correct forecasts, and I realize that we're in an economic depression, but people need to be informed about what's going on. So sign up for the newsletter. And if you don't like newsletters, make a donation. Someone made a donation this morning, and it's just very, very nice. Put the smile on my face. Someone made a big donation 2 days ago. Really happy to get that. I'm calling a few of my donors angels,
Mm-hmm.
um, because I do think that they are agents of the Lord.
I agree.
Well,
May I say something on your behalf?
go ahead.
Jim, the audience should know Jim and I are friends. We talk and we talk about personal stuff as well. Jim is a very generous person uh, with his own family, and he's generous with me as far as, our information relationship and so forth. I really encourage you. We're coming on end of year here, and Jim has gone through really difficult situation that nobody would understand unless you're a super serious man or woman of faith. And I mean this. I've been through, different things, but I can relate. And my family has been through a lot as well. As far as, I'll just give you a quick thing.
Employment.
I lost two jobs due to the illegal mandates for the vaccine and the mask, etc. I was unemployed, and I have 2 degrees. I graduated with honors. It's not like I'm a slouch. Okay, so if you would consider a donation for Jim, I would really appreciate that. Now, I'm going to do something I don't normally do. I'm also going to put my information if you want to consider a donation for me as well, which I never asked for, but we've had a really, really hard time lately as well. So I appreciate all of you. You're amazing audience. You guys always, I see how you share this, and I appreciate it very much. And we really hope that this information has blessed you and you can use it to apply to your own life. Let's say if you want to think about precious metals or something else, you know, obviously I'm not an advisor, but precious metals have helped me in really, really tough times just to make sure that I didn't go under. Okay, I'll say it that way. So if you want to go to golden-jackass.com, please consider for our dear friend and our brother in Christ, Jim. And like you said, some people don't want to read a newsletter. Hey, if you got, whatever you can do, if you got $10 or if you're a wealthy person, it doesn't matter. All donations are blessed. So we
we
appreciate that.
we love zeros. I had some donations in the last month, and I don't want to mention them, but one is a widow, no names. One is a widow, one is totally bald, one is an ex-soldier, and one is an ex-attorney. And I'm grateful to them all, in addition to the others. Um, we're taking blows. I mean, we're in a war zone. A lot of people don't regard it as a war zone because they don't see that the Democrats are the embodiment of Satanists and communists working with narcos. That is a brutal description, and it fits like a glove. They're attacking Christians. We saw what happened with Charlie Kirk.
Yep,
Let's not get into depth there, but
we
we saw
won't.
what happened. It's not an isolated case. Um, I'm being brutalized, and I'm on the verge of making life and death decisions based on lost funds from events. Events, and for those who know what a 3 Sigma event is, by the way, 3 Sigma just means it's 3 standard deviations away from the mean of a bell-shaped curve. And the probability of a 3 Sigma event is about 1 in 370. So they're very rare events. A lot of people prefer to think of it as, well, it's half of 1%. Yeah, that'd be 1 in 200, but it's in the neighborhood. I've had about 20 different 3 Sigma events. And they're mind-boggling. They were so convincing in their rarity that an unspiritual colleague of mine said to me in 2019, okay, I get it. You're exposing evil. You're over the target. You're getting slammed. You're taking anti-aircraft. You're getting hit. Okay, I get it. Because he made fun of me in 2017 and 18. Not anymore. And he helps me out with certain things. But
Well, thank you everybody for listening.
I appreciate this opportunity, and I don't usually get on the platform to defend my own decisions and behaviors, but this is not bad decisions. It's being generous and getting slammed by very dark forces. I had multiple uterus operation surgeries at the same time. Unbelievable. Okay. Thanks for having me on, and God bless you, and may God keep us strong, Brock. We need angels and we need help. I pray to St. Michael. That's the blue guy here. St. Michael to slay the demons and clear the path and provide me a wing under which I can operate. That is my daily prayer.
Amen.
Amen. All right. Thanks for having me on.
Thank you.
Good seeing you.